All right, so moving on to the final segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on which NFL players I do believe should be inducted into next year's NFL Hall of Fame, which players I believe should be a part of the 2025 NFL Hall of Fame class. So these are the following players I do believe deserve to be to be in the Hall of Fame class next year. I'm gonna throw Eli Manning in there. Eli Manning deserves to be in there because he's a two-time Super Bowl champion, defeated Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna throw Luke Kuechly in there because he was one of the greatest linebackers that I've ever seen play the game of football and one of the greatest defensive players of the 2010s of that decade. Marshawn Lynch was one hell of a running back with the Seattle Seahawks. He has my vote to make the NFL Hall of Fame based on what he did at the running back position, being a difference maker for all the years of when the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion and Boom and company were there. Terrell Suggs, former defensive player and former Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens. I do believe his defensive play and him being a true difference maker, a man that was feared by many on the offensive side of the ball over the years, should be in the NFL Hall of Fame. I also think that Joe Stanley, being a dominant offensive lineman with the San Francisco 49ers over the years, should make the NFL Hall of Fame. Clay Matthews was a huge difference maker with the Green Bay Packers and is a former world champion in his own right, helping the Packers win their latest Super Bowl back in 2010. So I do believe that these respective players should be a part of the NFL Hall of Fame class next year. Will they get in? Time will tell. But all those players have my vote. Now let's go into a deeper dive into why I believe these players should make the NFL Hall of Fame list or Hall of Fame class. So Eli Manning, once again, he has my vote. As a Cowboys fan, I have to be unbiased here. I think Eli Manning did do enough to get into the NFL Hall of Fame. He is a two-time Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl MVP, and defeated Tom Brady not once but twice with some magical plays to do so in the ball game. And I think he has to be in the conversation for making the Hall of Fame class, and I think he should, from what he's done with the playoff runs where he had to be a the Giants were underdogs, and they had to go through wild card rounds, divisional rounds, NFC Championship rounds, the Super Bowl. To get those two Super Bowls, they had to go through a lot. And those two times, quite frankly, they weren't even supposed to be there. But they found a way to do it. So I feel like he has the right to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Luke Kuechly, even though he had a short NFL career, he was a 7-time Pro Bowler. The man was one hell of an athletic middle linebacker, sideline to sideline guy, could diagnose a play before the play even started. I think he has earned the right to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Then the next player I'm looking at Marshawn Lynch. I think Marshawn Lynch has done enough to make the NFL Hall of Fame. You look at what he did in that classic wild card game against the New Orleans Saints years ago when he rocked the whole entire stadium in Seattle, broke at least 10 to 12 tackles in that game, helped the Seahawks win a Super Bowl, let alone keep him in contention for several years in Seattle, was a difference maker at the running back position. He has my vote to be in the Hall of Fame after being one of the best running backs in the 2010s. Terrell Suggs was a difference maker with the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, former Defensive Player of the Year, former Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens. Put a lot of fear in offensive players when they seen him on the defensive side of the ball. I think with him making 7 Pro Bowls and helping the Ravens stay afloat all those years, Terrell Suggs has my vote to being in the NFL Hall of Fame. Also, when you look at this list as well, I said Joe Staley. Joe Staley was a dominant force on the offensive line with the San Francisco 49ers, 6 Pro Bowls, and did that under 192 starts. So he helped the 49ers do everything they could to win the Super Bowl. It just didn't work out for him. But I do believe he deserves to make the NFL Hall of Fame as well. Clay Matthews, when it's all said and done, Clay Matthews was a beast with the Green Bay Packers. That defense that had several playmakers when they won the Super Bowl in 2010 with A.J. Hawk, Charles Woodson, and company. That team was stacked from top to bottom. But Clay Matthews, over his career, having 91.5 sacks in his 11-year career, was a key ingredient, a difference maker for the Packers staying afloat for all those years in the NFC. I think he's earned the right to be in the Hall of Fame as well. So those are the following players I do believe should be in the 2025 NFL Hall of Fame. Again, time will tell if these players do make it or not. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.